Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Wednesday, November 15th. We're going to take a look at Sonos today. So Sonos has earnings coming up. I thought we'd take a look and see where it might head to if it booms, busts, or moves sideways. So I've put in some trend lines, some support and resistance levels, and we'll also take a look at the think or swim study before we call it a video. So let's start off with everyone's most forgotten reaction to earnings, which is moving sideways. So based on where it is right now, if it did move sideways, what I would essentially expect it to do would be to sort of continue to wrestle with this like 1143 level. Now, whether that means that it spends some time above, spends some time below, what have you, I look for it to continue to wrestle with that level if it does relatively just sidestep. Maybe it bumps its head on that 1185 and then returns back down. Maybe it dips down toward that 1082 level but rises back up. But a relatively sideways action would look like pinning itself more or less to that 1143 area. Now, if it booms, I would look for it to take over that 1185 as support and start to march toward 1242. There are some micro levels in between some of these levels. Like here, there's probably a level right around 1218. But I didn't put in every single level because I didn't want to make it too cluttered, but just realize that there are some additional levels in between these. And if it really wants to go nutty, flipping that 1242 and then, like I said, hitting some additional resistance, probably up here around just shy of $13, and then ultimately heading toward that 1365. That would be like the stretch that I would look for if it, like I said, if it really wants to go ballistic. If it busts, losing support or confirming resistance at this 1143 and then moving down toward this 1282, I would look for it to lose this uptrend support, break down toward 1037 if it wants to move that far, and if it, then trudges even further and the selling pressure continues, basically heading toward $10. I have 1004 on there, probably is more like the psychological $10 level. Now, if it does want to do something sort of, a little bit in between booming and moving sideways, doing something like sort of running into this uptrend support, where have you, and kind of following it up and not breaking that support would be potentially an opportunity for it to just kind of stay in trend and not do anything super erratic based off of the earnings. So I would keep an eye on this uptrend support if and when it comes in contact with it after or based off of this reaction to earnings. Now, on the think or swim side of things, we see it was way up here close to 22 quite a while back at this point, and has just spent a long time trudging down. We had a big gap down here, came up, it never really filled that gap, so something to consider if it gets really strong sustained motion upward. We could look at that in the near future if folks are interested. Basically bear flagged here and then put in the rest of the move. And we see a few triggers and fires here, some of them setting off bigger motions than others. Right now, continuing to fire since this last trigger back here, where it was basically moving downward, but maybe a little less erratically than in these areas. But in any case, while it is way down here, as it pertains to just the depth at which the channel is reaching, within the channel itself, the price is trying to build support right above that mid-range of the channel. So interesting motion there, sort of coming off the bottom, not putting in, a real sort of bottom bowl pattern here, but, kind of trying to walk itself up, retrace back a reasonable percentage, and then come up and swing higher than the previous high. So we're seeing that here. We see, a lot of bearish momentum for a long time, finally died down, and maybe today just starting to flip to some bullish momentum. Now, what does the reaction to earnings do? How does that throw that sort of askew? We'll have to wait and see. But it is of interest to me that it was out of the channel not too long ago, tested the mid-range, very healthy move, came down and only tested the bottom bound of the channel. So higher low and now higher high, and building pressure in the channel toward the upper bound of the channel. So I'm, really interested to see if it can continue that pattern. Now, is it putting in a little bit, for those of you that are familiar, of a VAMI up pattern? It's a little janky because of this area in here, but, we can certainly wait to see what this reaction does to the overall pattern and situation and sort of digest it from there. But, it's trying at the moment for all of the sort of pressure, bearish pressure that's been under for a very long time, since that attempted run at 22, and it's been a very long time. It's trying right now. Now, has it tried and failed in the past? For sure. It's less of an effort here. This is definitely a better effort than that one. And, this one that just ended up sort of bear flagging, so that you have to be cautious of as well, is this just in the long run, we're going to look back at it and just look and go, okay, that was just a bear flag. We'll see. But, if there's a break one way or another based off of the channel, based off of the mid-range of the channel, that will be interesting to note. All right, folks, I hope that you had a happy hump day. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.